Good afternoon and welcome once again to another exciting edition of Inside ProCents, where our purpose is simple: to showcase our members, to shed a little light on the value that ProCents is providing to our industry players, and most of all, to let you hear that value directly from our members' lips. My name is Devin Anderson, and I am the president over here at ProCents, and I am joined once again by my friends and the ProCents leadership team, Mr. J.R. Edens, who is captive in his car today, will just be a pretty face and not a voice today, and Mr. Matt Russell, our CEO. Matt, would you like to start things off with a few words?
Well, I'm excited to have Jim on because being one of the board members, it's always great to get their perspectives and also the value that they're seeing and also the value that they're providing to help grow the environment. So, Jim, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I appreciate being asked to be here.
Right on. As Matt just mentioned, Jim is one of our board members. So today we are featuring his organization, CIV LED, based in Indianapolis, Indiana. And he, once as stated before, he is a ProCents board member. Good afternoon, Jim, and welcome to Inside ProCents.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Right on. All right, let's get this party started as we always do. Let's begin by shining a light on you and your organization with a little self-promotion. So tell us a little bit about your organization and tell us a little bit about why you not only chose to move CIV LED into the ProCents environment, but why you also felt it necessary and important enough to become a member of the board.
Okay, well, I've been in LED lighting for about 9 years. Started with a distributorship that taught me more what not to do than what to do. So that was about an 18-month learning experience, but it got me interested in the interest of lighting. This is a second career for me. I spent 35 years in financial services, so I've always enjoyed numbers and partnerships and relationships. So CIV LED, we do projects in 85% in Indiana. We do some in Cincinnati area, some in Louisville area, but mostly in Indiana backdrop. And we do a complete turnkey operation. We provide audits and do the proposals, do the set up the recycling, apply for the rebates, use Impact 179D when it's appropriate. And so from start to finish, we try to stay very close to our clients. We're a small group. There's only about 4 of us that are active every day in the organization. We use subcontractors for our installations, but we're having a record year. I mean, it's amazing. I really thought when COVID first hit that the lighting business might take a pretty good slowdown until we get back to a more normal situation. But in light of that, we actually have been busier since COVID than we ever have been. So, you know, it's a very interesting time. The reason that I think ProCents makes so much sense is being in the financial service industry, relationships is what it's all about. I mean, you had to have good relationships with your clients, with your distributors, with mutual funds, with your back office, the home office. So I've always been a person that believed in relationships. So the thing that I've found prior to ProCents was there's a lot of organizations out there that peddling lighting. Hard to tell all the time what you're getting until after the fact. So when I had the chance to join a group that would do some of that venting before I got involved, names are recognized. It just, the relationship was all about. And in the short time that we've been active, the relationships I've already developed with 2 or 3 other distributors is amazing. The fact that it could be developed that quickly. The reason I'm active in the board is because I always believe that you should give back to whatever you're involved in. And I saw this as a great opportunity to possibly give back some. I'm not a 30-year veteran in lighting, so I can't add some things, but I was a divisional director for a Fortune 500 company, managed 400 or 500 people, did involved in sales, training, hiring. So I have a lot of background that I thought that could possibly help some of our partners. And it's just very exciting to see what's happening in ProCents.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned giving back. We'll get into that one through Matt here a little bit later in the in the call, but I find that to be a central theme of the CIV LED platform. So even before you were a board member, which I think this leads directly in from your last response, you've been extremely active as a buyer and advocate when you joined ProCents. You also recommended several sellers and other buyers to our environment, one of which not only signed, but became a board member himself. I find that to be very interesting. What is it about ProCents that drives you to not only be a participant, but to actively recommend us? And why are you so comfortable in making those recommendations to not just sellers, guys you buy from, but from other buyers, which are competitors in a sense as well?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, I've always been a believer that if you help everybody throughout the realm of the process, you're going to be blessed from it. So a competitor, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say, here's my lead, take it. I mean, I'm not going to be that foolish, but there's a lot of competitors out there that you can learn a lot from. And if you're transparent with them and they're transparent with you, the only person who's really going to benefit will be the end user, the customer. So, working with competitors is something I've done. I was a recruiter, so I worked with a lot of other firms and financial services recruiting people. So you become friends with some of your competitors that may not become partners, but you learn a lot from what they're doing, how they're doing it, and I think that's is very important for any business person.
I agree wholeheartedly. You couldn't have said it better myself. One of the phrases I've always used is competitors collaborating for the best interests of the customer and the industry. And I think that when you have good competition makes everybody better, as long as the intent of the competitor is not to be nasty. And I think that's that's one of the things our environment really pushes, is that culture of collaboration and transparency and communication. I think you said it really well.
And I also think, as a little side note,
Yeah,
there's also, I know there's plenty of business for all of us. So for anybody to be greedy enough to think they're the only ones who can do it is really just fooling themselves. So, I mean, if I work with a competitor and they get a job that I could have had, there's going to be a job that I get that they should have. So, I mean, it's just a matter of doing what the best you can do for the customer and be willing to, be helpful to whoever you can. So.
absolutely. Well said. All right. And now into the chasm of time and space, we dive and meet the presence hidden within the dark, ready to spark upheaval of love and chaos all at once. Mr. Matt Russell, take it away, brother.
I really feel like I should have like theme music, like maybe like the Empire Walk or from Star Wars. I don't know.
Don't give me ideas, man. I'm coming up with something new every time.
The intros are getting better every time. I love it. Well, Jim, man, absolutely love your participation within the organization and how much that you've contributed so far. But one of the things that I always like trying to do is highlight solutions for people. And for me, last month we had the finance side with LED Finance. This month we talked about the tax incentives with 179D with but in both of those, you've been fairly active in bringing more value to your customers. So in your seat, can you talk just briefly about the financing and the tax incentives and how it's helped you close more business and become a better advocate for your customer, as you talked about earlier?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to having more tools in your toolbox. So I learned quickly that, I tell a lot of people this, that most people don't call someone to upgrade their whole facility on LED lighting. A lot of people call and say, I need this, and they'll convert it. But, when you go out and try to sell a project, you're on a different plane with that person. They're not looking to spend money. You're encouraging them to spend money. Mm-hmm. So you have to have as many tools in the toolbox to allow them to have the opportunity to do what you're going to present to them. So, you know, I was eager to learn about financing when I first learned about it. You know, having been a divisional director with budgets, you know, budget constraints. So it's nice to be able to offer that, saying that, you know, you don't have to worry about taking money out of pocket. I'm a big believer in Mark Jewell and selling energy. He talks about widgets to digits and so on. And you know, I think that if you can show the client, one, the savings and the fact that they could do without out of pocket money, it becomes, they just kind of relax and start looking at it. They may still pay cash for it, but it just tells them that you're in it to try to give them the good results. Impact 179D is the same way. I mean, it's amazing to me that it's not used more often. It's amazing to me that so many quality CPA firms and CPAs don't even bring it up to their customers or their clients. So when I first learned about Impact 179D being reintroduced, I was quickly referred to Randy Lucas, who is also a member of the ProCents group. And I just picked his brain. I kept trying to learn from him, and it has made a huge impact on several projects for mine because nobody else really shows it. I mean, I say maybe 10% of the deals I walk into, someone else is talking about. So that's a big opening for CIV LED to make themselves different and show a difference. So
Yeah.
Let me add to that one, Matt. So, you know, finance is not like a new thing in the industry. People know about it. There's a lot of our potential customers and current members that actually, you know, are fairly sophisticated, and they utilize that stuff. What I like about kind of your story and the way that you approach this stuff is that you lead with financing. So your initial conversation on the front end before you really dive too far into the project are the ways in which you know the customer can do the project without spending their own money. And to me, that takes the weight off of the conversation. I'd like to have you kind of dive into that a little bit more and just explain why leading with tactics like this has been so successful for you.
well, I mean, I think the biggest thing that's been successful is me leading with it, but also saying, okay, we're sitting here today, Mr. Customer, and your project's going to be X dollars, and it's going to have an ROI of 2.2 years, let's say. So whatever we decide going forward, in 26 months, you have basically either paid for the new upgrade or you've paid for the upgrade without getting it, because you're going to pay that money out of your pocket to the energy company or to me upgrading your situation. So because of that, let's look at financing where we could do it. You can have extra cash flow immediately and still have the project done without taking capital out of your capital expenditures. And you're going to have a better environment. It's going to be safer. It's going to be more aesthetically looking for your customers. There's so many other additional benefits than people just think that it's the light. I mean, there's been, you know, as well, I do the Cornell and the Yale survey about productivity and so on that. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you should be listening to this. And I'm going to show you how we can do it without you having to worry about selling someone to take money out of the budget. I'll show you how you can let the lights pay for themselves.
Awesome. Matt?
Well, that's you know, something, you know, to circle back on, and it kind of leads into the next question, is giving back. You alluded to it. When we're talking with, you know, a client, a potential customer, they didn't call us saying, hey, help us spend our money. We're providing solutions to them and hoping that they're going to spend money. So we're giving back to them opportunities to find ways to either find a tax incentive or, you know, postpone a capital expenditure and, you know, bake that in with the financing. So those things right there are just fundamental. And then also talking about Mark Jewell's selling energy, there's so much value in there because the people within the lighting industry or in any industry, there's certain industry jargon that we all refer to, and it's lost outside of that industry. So once you're able to speak the jargon that they talk about, and I love Mark talking about how would you like to sell an additional 500 hamburgers a month? And he just said, this is what the energy savings is, and then figured out what it costs to make their hamburgers. That resonated with someone. So you have to be able to meet people where they're at and provide solutions that will help them get over the hurdle and make a decision. Whether they decide to or not, that's fine, but at least they're making a decision. So you're able to move on with either continuing the project or, maybe setting that one aside for, later down the road, which is absolutely fine. But kind of the next question for me is, and this is something I really would hope people resonate with more in the environment and take your lead. And I'm going to, I know I've talked about it within the leadership organization because of my background, but it's with CIV LED, you talk about giving back to your community and giving back a percentage. So I'd love for you to talk about that just so we can highlight that and really spotlight that there, because when you're able to give back to the community, it really does come back almost 4 times fold. So, if you could, talk about that.
Absolutely. Well, I've, as I said earlier, I always have been, I've lived in this community for the majority of my life. So I've always believed in giving back. I've served on nonprofit boards to give back. I've given back financially. So, I believe that a lot of people have that in their hearts that they like, but they never take that step to go to the next level, really actually implementing it. So when we actually redid our model and so on, we identified some individual organizations that we're going to benefit and give back to. And, it's something that selfishly, I guess some people would say it benefits me because I got to pick the organizations that I support. But I've had situations where someone said it'd be nice if some of that money would go to this, and we've considered it and done it a few times. So, but I think it's so important for us. We live in a great country today. Some people might question that, but we still live in the finest country, the greatest country in the world. We are blessed every day. I don't want to put my preacher's hat on, but I feel that I'm blessed every day that I get up, and my goal is to whoever I can to try to bless their day, but also to be open to being blessed. And I think so often that we get so tied up in business that we forget just little things can make a difference in someone's day or life or even their decisions. So, we picked some organizations that mean a lot to my wife and I. And we've had, we've had success doing that. I don't make a big deal about it. I don't go in and say, I'm going to give money to this if you do this project. But, it is on our website. And I do that I don't do it for notoriety. I don't do it for anything. I just do it because I feel it's the right thing to do. And, there's a lot of organizations out there that you give $1 and, 80 cents is gone before it gets to the end user. So I've tried to pick organizations that were responsible and were making differences in different areas of our world. And I think it's all of our responsibility. I believe that every day I wake up, the good Lord has something for me to do today. When he's done with me, then he's done with me. But as long as I'm here, I still have a purpose I need to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I love it because, and it's in the giving that we receive. And a lot of people may not remember certain things, but if you're giving because it's out of the kindness of your heart, not because of the gratitude that you're looking for. It leaves a legacy for generations to follow. So I applaud you for that. And, that's something that I know myself and Devin and JR, we've talked about within the ProCents environment, and how I continue to, work with certain organizations and, try to put forth my time and effort into that. So appreciate you, sharing that with us, and being a inspiration for us, and, hopefully more will follow suit in that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, it goes back to the fact that I think we're very lucky, the four of us and whoever else is watching this, is we've been very blessed. We've had opportunities that some people never had. I had a great career in the financial services, but every life has challenges too, and not every day is a day in paradise. I mean, so you have challenges, but I think if you just take a step back and really look at what's around us and the impact certain things can have, if you do it for the right reason, I think you do receive accolades well beyond what you do it. That's why, I don't really talk about it much, but it's something I truly believe in. So,
well, thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. On a personal note, you and I have known each other for, at least for the last 4 or 5 years. We've been trying to do work together in different capacities, and, little things get in the way, but I've been proud to call you a friend, Jim. And ever since I've known you, you and your family have been in my prayers every day since. So thanks again for coming into the environment. Thanks for being a good business partner and friend to all of us in this group.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, and if I can help anybody, I'm willing to share and try to help them. So I look forward to ProCents becoming a major player beyond where we are now.
As do we.
Absolutely.
All right, this includes today's Inside ProCents blog session. Again, today's focus was on Mr. Jim Oxley of CIV LED, a buyer within the ProCents environment, one of our ProCents board members, and a solid resource for all of our members as an example of the importance of paying it forward in life and within the ProCents environment. Thank you once again, sir, for your times and insights.
Thank you for asking me, and you all have a blessed day.
Right on. Matt, would you like to take us away with a few words before we close?
I'm going to just let it, that marinate with, what Jim said. So I hope a lot of people watch this, and we can all, strive to be a little bit better each day.
That's all the goal is. So JR, I appreciated all your comments. Have a great day.
We can't shut them up.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. And now, as we do always, we close with a bit of our ProCents culture to do it right. We believe here at ProCents that clear, consistent, and transparent communication practices solve 99% of the inefficiencies and challenges that occur in our daily buyer and seller interactions. So to all of our current and future members, the ProCents culture is simple, and every member enters and adheres to the ProCents promise. Same-day responses to all communication requests, clear and consistent communication practices for efficient interactions, always turning inward for your organizational needs in a deliberate effort to support all participating members. And it should go without saying, but as you know, I'll always say it anyway. Do what you say you're going to do, always. At ProCents, we make connections that are sticky and that last, then we get out of the way. We open the doors, and our participants always choose their own path, but they do it together. If you would like to know more about ProCents, check out our website at www.procents.com, or reach out to one of our leadership team members and get on our calendars. There is no better time than now to get on this train. Thank you all once again. Have a great day.
Thank you.